Hi, I'm Brittany, and I have a bachelor's degree in film and television.
And I'm Jessica, and I have a bachelor's degree in equine studies, and we're going to make a bad horse movie.
Welcome to Bad Horse Movie Podcast.
Yeah.
Called Cult Classics.
Heck yeah, it
Heck
is.
yeah. Welcome back.
Back.
I think we did that last time.
Every time.
Every time.
Every time.
So how's it going? You ready to make a podcast?
I'm ready to make a podcast. I have so many things prepared.
Okay.
Well, not too many, hopefully, but
I'm ready.
not the last episode, but the one before that.
Yes.
We had a debate.
Yes. Friendly debate.
A friendly debate of whether or not a half human, half seahorse monster hybrid is an underwater centaur or a mermaid.
Yeah.
And honestly, I think that the jury's still out. Like,
sure.
I know some of the same people voted both on the tweeter, the tweeter, on the tweet poll and on our Discord. Join the podcast network community Discord. It's a fun time.
Link should be in the podcast description.
There we go. So anyway, so on Twitter, there were 5 votes, and in favor of mermaid by 1 vote, I think, because it says 40% underwater centaur and 60% voted for mermaid.
Okay, yeah, pretty close.
Right. But on the Discord, the community Discord, 4 voted for underwater centaur and 3 voted for mermaid. So on Discord, centaur won, on Twitter, mermaid won, and some of those people I think were the same people voted on both of them, so I couldn't really tell you exactly overall.
Close call.
Which one's the winner. So you get to decide for yourself.
So it's interpretable.
It's interpretable, exactly.
The scientists that classify the monsters are like, we don't know. It's certainly not a fish.
Certainly not a fish, and it's definitely not a human.
I read somewhere that there is technically no scientific classification of fish.
Oh.
Like the category fish is just like a nomenclature and not actually a scientific category.
Huh.
Because of the way that like things are, because like I guess a dolphin is not, like it was really weird. But then the next thing I saw was that I think it's California, classified a bumblebee as a fish so that it fell under certain like fish and wildlife regulations of like preservation of the species.
Gotcha.
So all that to say, like animals can be whatever you want.
Listen, the more that we get into it, the more we find that the ways that we classify things, it just doesn't work.
Nope.
I feel like the tomato being a fruit thing just turned everything over, and now we're just dissolving into chaos. Because I've seen so many other things of like, there was a guy I saw on when I was scrolling who was talking about how like there's not a good classification system for what constitutes being a tree.
Sure.
And so like now it's just there are no rules apparently.
Well, I mean, even think about it too, like tell me specifically what constitutes a chair. Because if you say 4 legs and a seat, what we're sitting in right now doesn't have legs. It's on wheels.
Right.
And it's on
kind of a leg.
It's on a stalk though.
Yeah.
Like it's not 4 of them, right? And then is a beanbag a chair, right? Like there's a whole, so literally anything could be anything. And that's, for me, super fun. I love discussing like semantics that have no stakes.
Right.
If this does not go into identity, but like specifically, like how do you describe a chair?
Right.
How do you describe a seahorse person combo?
What is exactly is a taco?
Right. What's a sandwich?
What's a sandwich?
So it's a hot dog, a sandwich. A hot dog is a taco.
Did we just? Anyways, moving on.
That's a whole different podcast.
A whole different podcast. Okay, so I have brought back Hey or Nay.
Yay!
You sound so excited.
I was trying to go off of the nay sound. It didn't work. But that's not a yay.
No, it's not a yay. It's an A.
It's an A.
Yay or nay.
Yay or nay. That's what it's derived off of.
That's true. Anyways, because I feel like we've been away from it for a while, so I thought I'd bring it back. There's lots of stuff on the horse internet, which I still want to talk about in further podcasts. But
yeah,
for today,
we might have to make like a mini podcast,
right? About oh my gosh.
Yeah.
So this one's a little bit special because it's a little bit long, so it's probably gonna be hard for you. I'm sorry, but they were just too good.
Okay.
So I think we are going to at some point do a special mini episode about the Kentucky Derby.
Yeah.
Because it was
this year was apparently insane.
Chaos. And even though it's past, we're gonna circle back because it was just too good. But so one of the other races of the Triple Crown just happened, which is the Belmont Stakes. And spoiler alert for horse people, I don't know how recently it was run. I'm assuming at this point you already know who's won, but the Kentucky Derby winner did not win the Belmont Stakes. So there's no Triple Crown this year. So anyways, so I pulled up all of the horses that ran in the Belmont Stakes. Names. And I have added one.
Oh my god.
That is my own.
So how many?
So there's 9 of them.
9. Okay. I was thinking 13 for some reason.
Oh. Well, so there was 8 that actually ran.
Okay.
And then I have added one.
You've added a 9th.
Yeah, I've added a 9th. At least one of these you will know is not the one that I did.
Is it Orb?
No.
Orb
I
is
don't know if Orb is still alive.
Yeah, I was gonna say I think Orb is an older winner.
Okay. So these are the horses.
So how about this?
Yes.
Can I make a pool? Can we go like can you can you list them off and I'll say maybe or no, and then we go back to the maybes, and I like narrow it down from the maybes.
Yeah, we can do that. Okay,
unless they're all maybes, in which case I'm screwed.
Well, there should be at least one that you can.
Yeah.
So we have Mo Donegal.
As far as something you've made up, no.
Okay.
I'm putting that in the no category.
Okay, we have Nest.
Nest? No.
Okay. We have all one word, Skippy Longstocking.
Maybe.
We have We the People.
No.
Okay. We have Creative Minister.
Maybe.
Okay. We have Rich Strike.
Okay, wasn't that the winner?
Yes.
From the Kentucky Derby?
Yes.
Yeah. Who like bit a bunch of other horses. We do need to do a Derby episode because like the things I have osmosis from this race are incredible, and I really can't wait to hear more about it.
Right. Okay. Now we have Freedom Runs.
Maybe.
Okay. Barber Road.
No, that's a real horse. I'm saying it now.
Okay. And Golden Glider.
Maybe.
Okay.
I've given myself, 5?
1, 2, 3, 4.
4. Oh, okay.
4.
Okay.
Okay.
What are the 4 that I...
The 4 are Skippy Longstocking,
Mhm.
Creative Minister,
Mhm.
Freedom Runs, and Golden Glider.
Okay, so I feel like my 2 that I think you made up are either Creative Minister or Golden Glider.
Okay.
And I literally, for some reason, I'm like, I think it's Creative Minister. I don't know why, but that's just the vibe I'm getting from it.
Is that your final answer?
That's my final answer. I don't think it's right.
You are very wrong.
What? Who is naming their horse this? What is happening?
I feel like Creative Minister is something that Daniel would name.
That's why I was guessing it, because you 2 are in cahoots.
Shout out to Daniel, DM of No Dice.
You 2 are in cahoots.
We are, but she did not help me with this one. I made this one all on my own like 2 minutes ago.
Is it the other one that I said?
No.
Okay, so
No.
I just really
wrong. It was in your first 4.
Okay,
but it was not in the 2 that you narrowed down.
The top 2. Okay, all right. Well,
so it's
let me guess from the 2 left then.
Okay.
Not that I'm gonna get any points from this.
2 left are
yeah,
Skippy Longstocking and Freedom Runs.
skipping long stopping.
No.
Long stopping. I said every single syllable of that word incorrectly.
Nope, Skippy Longstocking is an actual horse that ran in the Belmont Stakes.
I had literally a 50-50 shot.
And you guessed wrong.
Actually, technically, I think mathematically I had more of a chance to get it right. And I squandered it.
You squandered it. I made up Freedom Runs.
Freedom Runs. It's a very good generic, like I can see, you know, like a young adult being like, yeah, this is my horse. Yeah.
Yeah.
I cannot believe that I can't talk on this podcast.
I can't either. It's fine.
We have a whole show where we talk. I can't do it.
Whose idea was this?
Whose idea was this? Can I speak to the manager? All right.
Okay.
Anything else that you'd like to bring to the table of horse opportunities?
No.
All right.
Anything you want to add? I feel like we've had a lot of horse things and not a lot of movie things.
Not
a lot of talking things either, apparently.
Talking things. No, I don't think that there's anything extremely interesting that's happened.
Have you watched any good movies lately? Or TV shows? Or bad movies lately?
Yeah, but we're not going to talk about it.
Okay.
I did watch recently, I believe it's called Just Like Heaven.
Okay.
It's a early 2000s rom-com with Reese Witherspoon and Mark Ruffalo.
Oh, okay.
I forgot how much I like early 2000 rom-coms because that's like the prime time for those rom-coms of like it to me it read like this is a movie I would have watched in school because it was just like very cleanly written and like there definitely were some things that tonally maybe didn't fit, but the directors did such a good job of making it fit in the movie. Mark Ruffalo is just like
he's a gem.
Let me just say though, Mark Ruffalo only plays one character and it's Mark Ruffalo. But that's okay. I think in this sense it worked really well. I kind of knew where it was going already when it started because it's very formulaic, but it was good and it was fun and it was simple and it was like there was a lot of silly bits to it and there was a very, very sweet moments. And I was like, I can't believe I haven't watched this before because it really just felt like something I would have had on DVD in like high school. Like it was good. It's on Netflix. That's where I watched it.
What was it called again?
Just Like Heaven. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, that's
it's if you like it feels like a trope even though I don't think it's something that's very common. But like the premise is this man is dealing with the aftermath of something tragic. You don't find out till later that it's his wife who died. And he sublets an apartment and the apartment has a ghost who tells him to get out.
I saw the ad for that now that you or trailer or whatever.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
And she's like, "What are you doing in my apartment?" And he's like, "Well, you're not supposed to be here."
Yeah.
And so but then they go on this journey of finding out who she is and you know what's going on and if he can help her like get out of this kind of limbo she's in. And there are twists. I could have told you what the twist was. But again, this movie is pre like a lot of these tropes. So I could see them coming, but and I don't know if this is like the origin of some of these tropes, but it definitely was new at the time of a lot of these things. So it was just like the writing also was really good. There was a couple moments that the dialogue felt like it was from a totally different movie, but they played it so well that I was like, you know what? I'm gonna let it be.
Yeah.
I'm gonna let it be. So it was definitely I had a good time and I just put it on as like a background movie and then I was like, wait, I gotta watch this now. I got really sucked in. The other thing I was gonna say is, and I have not actually seen anything, so I can't speak to it. But the Tonys were last night. As of recording.
Okay.
And
that's musicals, right?
It is musicals. Yes. So not really in the film department, but the reason I bring this up is because I believe that Jennifer Hudson won a Tony, which means she has an EGOT now.
Oh, does she?
Yeah. Which is an Emmy, Grammy, Oscar, and Tony.
Yes.
And there's only like a handful of them in the world. There's only like one other black woman who has it, I believe. So yeah, so that's the film stuff that's been happening lately. Yeah.
Thank you for enlightening us.
Yeah, if I find anything else good. But I like finding like the stuff. I know that like we say this isn't a horse podcast and it's not a movie podcast. It's its own thing. But some of the stuff that you share that's like horse adjacent, that's weird. I'm like, what is happening? So I'm a big fan of like the weird horse stuff. I want to be informed of all of it.
Perfect. I can do that.
Let's make a horse movie.
Let's do it.
What's our word?
Okay, so the word that I have pulled to add in at some point, I felt like was a good, vague kind of word that could lead us anywhere, is cloudy.
Okay. Do you want to start with it?
We can see what comes up when we start with it.
Cloudy. Well, it's not a word that's in the predictive text, so it doesn't really know what to do with it.
Well, I think whenever... Oh. Well, I mean, we can just shuffle.
All right, we're going to give it a shuffle. Cloudy unicorn. Cloudy up unicorn that. That sounds like a bad phrase. Cloudy up unicorn that.
Yeah, no, let's not do that. I feel like cloudy unicorn could be something, but I'm not 100% sure.
Okay, so jacket, Pegasus, end.
It really likes the mythical horses.
With the cloudy, yeah.
Cloudy Pegasus, cloudy unicorn.
Let's try it somewhere
else.
Cloudy
end. What would cloudy end be?
I mean, could be like...
I feel like that's like a name of a ranch.
Yeah, that could be cool. I feel like that I'd rather that in the movie than the movie title. Let's try the word somewhere else. Kay. So we've got Camp Brady.
Camp Cloudy.
Camp Cloudy.
What is Camp Cloudy?
Oops. Camp Cloudy, : jacket, Weaver's Felicity. Nope. Victor William Companions.
They really want a first name there.
Yeah. What? Whisperer Dreamer. Camp Cloudy. What is the measure of a horse?
She didn't even ask.
I just wanted to see what would happen if I kept clicking. What is the measure of a horse? It's really funny to me.
That's actually really good.
We're not keeping it. But
what? We can.
We can, but like that's a really long title.
Well, I feel like this is a movie where the horses are the people. Like they live in like a people world.
Okay.
And they're horses and they go to this like summer camp. And you could either do just like you could do like military camp. Or just like this is where you go to figure out what you want to do with your life.
Welcome to Camp Cloudy. What is the measure of a horse? I hate it. I don't like it at all.
Like, yeah, okay. I was like, you could leave what is the measure of a horse as your like tagline.
Yeah, I would say that would definitely be the tagline.
Title.
Yeah. I don't know where to go with it.
Okay, that's fair.
That's an image. That's a Photoshop image. Okay, I like Camp Cloudy.
Okay. Do we want to just leave it as Camp Cloudy and no colon?
I want to see what happens.
Okay.
I feel like if we can just do some horseman. Horseman. Dark about.
Dark. Let's do dark.
Dark eyes.
We already did Dark Eyes Jones.
Oh.
Dark Eye Jones. Dark Eyes Jones.
Yeah,
I feel like it was Dark Eyes.
Dark.
Shuffles.
Hot and tot.
Dark Sunday.
Dark Sunday. Maybe if it's like that idea, right? Like Camp Cloudy, rainy day, or Camp Cloudy, a thunderstorm, or something like weather related. The darkness is fine, but I think it needs to be a descriptor of like the weather. Hand motions.
Okay, so Camp Cloudy
is
a summer camp in England. Because it's always cloudy and rains there.
Camp Cloudy. It rains here.
That's why we called it Camp Cloudy. It's cloudy all the time.
It's cloudy all the time.
There's no sun.
No sun allowed.
Maybe like 2 days out of the year, but that's about it.
It's a camp for when you're sad. Because it's cloudy out here.
I'm just waiting for JD's reaction.
JD, don't listen to this episode. No. Now, David, on
Honestly,
the other hand,
of all of the accents that I've attempted, I feel like British is the like closest. Even though it's not good, like it's better than all of my other
there's so
accents that I
many
tried.
variations on a British accent too. Like what we've done is like Cockney,
a little bit.
Chav, weird.
That's the closest I can get. Like I've toned it down a little bit over the years because it used to, when I was like middle school, it was like real bad. But
I mean, because you could do. Oh, welcome to Camp Cloudy. We're here to have a good time. Actually, I don't know if you knew that, but yeah, to have a good time. Actually, I know it says Camp Cloudy, but we're all sunshine here.
that's the camp counselor that everybody is like, is she okay? She seems a little too peppy.
I haven't had my morning coffee yet, so don't worry.
I don't want to see you after coffee. And I feel like we could make this like a feel-good movie.
Yeah.
You know? Like a horsey feel-good movie of like this kid. Okay, if you want to go super stereotypical,
Yeah.
is the parents are super rich.
Okay.
And so they're flying to Cancun for the summer. And they can't take their son with them.
They're rich but not rich enough.
Right. Well, it's a parents' trip, you
Sure,
know, so
sure.
can't have little Johnny there.
We can't have Johnny there.
No, he just wrecks everything because he wants to be with us all the time.
And children, can't believe we had one.
Right. Exactly. So Johnny gets shipped off to Camp Cloudy because when the parents did a Google search of summer camps to send their children to, this is the first thing that popped up. They know nothing about it. Camp Cloudy is a nice camp, but it is not for rich kids.
Not for rich kids. Okay.
Because it is not a rich camp. It's a camp. So it's a little worn down, you know, the showers have bugs in them and they're not all tiled and fancy.
Well, maybe it's something. So if we're horse centering this,
yes,
maybe it's like they talked to their trainer.
And
their trainer had gone to Camp Cloudy when they were younger because like the help, right, is always like middle to lower class.
Right.
And they're just kind of offhand and mention it and they're like, darling, our trainer on our thoroughbred horses has recommended Camp Cloudy.
Yeah. Let's send Johnny there.
I'm gonna like content warning. British people do not listen. Because this is going to be the whole episode.
Yes. Just fair warning. On this podcast, we content warn for British accents
only.
But French people,
you can deal with it.
You can deal with it. You know, this movie writes itself in the next 20 seconds because you just do the Taming the Beast trope.
Yeah.
Where Camp Cloudy has this one horse that they don't use for the kids because it's a little crazy and Johnny sneaks out at night or whatever and they bond and then
I thought you were going to say bonkheads and I was like, why? They do a little like headbutt situation.
What is it from Finding Nemo? Something. Noggin. Doink.
Donk. Yeah.
Dude.
Okay, well, let me say this then. How do we make this a bad movie? Like, aside from the fact that it's tropey, right? Because that's clearly, I think, let me say this. At this point in the podcast, I think we've covered tropes.
Yes.
As bad ones. And honestly, I think we could do a whole episode where we speed run like 5 different movies full of tropes, right? Like, we kind of got that rhythm going. I think we need to start venturing out into other areas of bad.
Okay, well, you gotta help me because all I got is tropes.
So, if we're referencing something I've just seen, right?
Mm-hmm.
The thing in Just Like Heaven that I was like, what
is this a spoiler?
No.
Okay.
I won't even say it.
Okay.
I won't even say what it is. But there's a character that the interactions with the dialogue feel like they're from a different movie.
Okay.
And I'm like, it works because the actors are great and like they understand their characters and the roles and how to make it work. And the director's really good at making this like the dialogue was like kind of sinister almost.
Oh.
But it played as a comedy because of the way that they filmed it and the way that they acted it. So like they did a good job. But like I thought about it for 2 seconds and I was like, what? Why did we say that?
You're right.
So dialogue, right? We can have some dialogue that just doesn't make any sense, especially related to like a B or a C plot.
Okay.
That doesn't fit in the movie. Because what happens is, I think, either there's not a good rewrite of the script, or someone is unwilling to cut their darlings from the script.
Yeah.
So we have like a weird B plot. So if we want to go real weird, we can have a weird B plot of like talking animals, but like,
Okay,
listen.
continue.
So like the horse doesn't talk.
Right.
The horse never talks.
Right.
We never see the horse talk. But for some reason, we have a C plot of like two squirrels that talk to each other. And they only talk to each other.
Okay.
But then like in one scene, they interact with Johnny and the horse.
Okay.
And like they don't talk in that scene. They just do like a squeaky, 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 squeaky thing. But like we know that they're trying to talk. And then we never see the squirrels again. Right? Like again, I'm trying to think of like left field, but would also kind of fit
right
in the whole movie. So that could be a thing. The other thing too is like what's the takeaway? So when we do a movie like child is sent away and is basically learning to live in a world that's not theirs and learning compassion and learning about friendship, all that stuff, then typically, if we're talking like early 2000s, 2010s, there is a moment where they have to teach that to their parents, or depending on the story, sometimes they can break away from their parents, right? So we have that moment of like, you know, oh, well, I'm old enough to actually go off to uni next year. I wasn't sure if I was going to, but now I realize you two are awful parents. I'm going to go to university, right? And it could be something like, oh, I'm going to go off to uni. Oh, no, you need to go to Harvard or whatever. And he's like, I'm actually going to go to community college. I don't know anything about English schools, so I don't actually know what's like a good or bad university. But so the idea being like, instead of going off to the school and following the path that their parents have set off for them, they choose their own path, right? So, but to just real quick come back to the main question is like, what is the takeaway that the main character has and then implements?
I think it is don't judge a book by its cover. Because I was also in my head of like, you know, rich boy coming to this middle class camp. All the middle class kids are going to judge the rich boy too.
Yeah.
And the way that the horse teaches the lesson is that the horse is not a beautiful horse. It's not a thoroughbred, which is what his. I don't know if they really do thoroughbreds that much in England, but we can throw that in there because this is a bad movie and there's no research done.
There's no research, and they're not really English, so they've got bad accents.
Right, exactly. So you know, parents have this thoroughbred breeding program and are running racing winners and blah blah blah, and only thoroughbreds, only good bloodlines, all that kind of stuff. Super snotty about what type of horse.
I have an idea.
Yes.
Okay. Not related to plot.
Okay.
But they're actually Americans.
Okay.
Follow me here. So they're Americans in wherever you would say like a thoroughbred breeding program in America would be like with
Kentucky.
With a lot of rich, people, but they have a home in England.
Oh, okay.
And when they're in England, the parents put on an accent because they need to fit in with all the other rich English people. And that's like a weird plot point that never gets brought up again. Yeah. But we just, like, it's using as an explanatory advice why they switch between the two.
Perfect. No, I love it. Because it doesn't even have to be that they have, like, a home. Like, they do have a house in England, but, like, breeding programs sometimes can be, like, barns are almost, like, they're businesses.
Yeah.
So it's like we have our Kentucky location. We also have our, Bristol or wherever in England would have horse racing place location.
You could say literally anywhere in Europe, and I would agree with you right now. Okay, so
they have they're not even shy. Blah, 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 blah. Their NS location.
Yeah.
They put on fake British accents when they're there.
Yes.
But they only breed the most high quality, perfect bloodline.
Yeah, right.
Thoroughbreds.
You can track the lineage all the way back to 1305 or something
like that. Yeah. And I feel like there has to be a certain type of horse that they have like a prejudice against. It's like obviously, thoroughbreds are the best.
Yeah. Well, what's a good camp horse? You've been to a couple horse camps.
Yeah.
So like what's a breed that like is good for kids or good for learning on or cute? I don't know. I mean we talked about an ugly horse, so maybe not cute.
Yeah. Well, I mean, to be fair, I don't think any horse is ugly.
All horses are beautiful to me.
They're at least adorable.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I feel like a lot of camp horses are just like mixed.
Mutt.
Yeah. Which, I mean, I'm sure that they are like, I think there is technically a name, like a term used for a horse mutt. But even still, like we typically still tend to mention like what like major percentages of breed they are.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like dog owners kind of do that too, but like I don't typically hear people be like, "Oh, this is my horse. He's a mutt," or whatever the like horse term is for it. That's why I don't know the horse term for it because you don't hear it very often.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, quarter horses are pretty versatile all around type horses. If you want to go like little kids camp, then you've got ponies instead of horses. Although ponies can be vicious.
So maybe not a pony.
Well, I mean, maybe a pony because if this is one that they're like, oh, next year he's not coming back because he's can't do camp horse things because he keeps biting the kids. Yeah. Could do a little Shetland pony.
This horse is off to the factory,
right?
Yeah,
you literally could pull that card of like, this horse doesn't get turned around in his behavior, then off to the factory. I'm not going to say what it is because it makes me cry.
It's the factory where horses make textiles. They sit there with their little hooves and they sew up a cute little dress.
I can't pick up the needle.
I can't see it with my nose in the way.
Turn sideways.
This is very good audio content we're making today.
I don't know if I would be this dramatic if we didn't have the video, but maybe because I am a very active sort of person.
We've done this exact same thing without the video. We're just like that.
Now you get to see it.
Now you get to see it. Yeah. Okay. So I feel like we have a good bad movie.
Yes.
So far.
Yeah.
The takeaway is, what's the takeaway again?
Don't judge a book by its cover.
Okay, so we're applying that to the parents, like because if we're applying that to the parents,
mm-hmm.
which would be kind of weird, but again, it's a bad movie. Johnny would be like, I've misjudged my parents. And then they say something about how they both used to have hamsters. And it's like a sweet moment or something, right? Or like they both used to raise squirrels if we want to bring it back in some weird way, right? So like there's that. It could be like they've revealed something to Johnny that then humanizes them in a way that he can be like, oh, I can relate to my parents now if we want. Or we don't have to.
Well, I thought of like he needs to teach them to not judge a book by its cover. That's where I thought you were going with it.
Well, I guess it depends on when we bring the parents back.
Right.
Because if we bring them back right at the end, that would be my, like, it'd be like a scene.
Yeah.
Right? But if we bring them back earlier, like before the climax, essentially, then it would be like some kind of riding competition that he then gets on this ugly pony and they win the blue ribbon.
Yeah.
And he's like, look. This horse made me win. I've never won on a thoroughbred ever, but I won on this guy.
Yeah.
Something like that. So it depends on when we bring the parents back, I think.
I kind of like that one.
The second one?
Yeah. Because I feel like the other thing, now the wheels are, they're turning. Not only do they judge, horses, but they also judge against different types of horse riding. So we could go like completely not opposite, but very different of like barrel racing.
Yeah.
Which I mean is still running fast, but it's, you know, it's Western. It's not posh and civilized and very put together and you know, the way that you do. I mean, horse racing's a little like fast, but it's still, I don't know. I feel like
what if we did
Western riders and English riders are very pitted against each other sometimes.
So what's dressage?
English.
Yeah, so what if we did like that, like even that, right? Like dressage versus barrel racing, because I feel like dressage is not fast, right? So it's like showmanship.
Yes.
It's about, you know, poise and like being put together. And barrel racing is about going around the corners as fast as you absolutely can.
Yeah.
So that could also be a good dichotomy there too, as well.
It could be, yeah. That's a pretty classic one, I feel like.
Yeah, I mean, it's a trope movie.
Yeah.
But the reason that we like Johnny so much is that he's gay.
Oh. What? I'm confused on what you're trying to accomplish.
I don't know.
Like, why did you say, why are we figuring out why we like Johnny so much?
Just to add a little twist.
Just in general of why we like him? Or
no, I mean, like, we like him because he's a main character.
Right.
So just something, like a little twist that you're like, oh, this is not applicable to anything at all.
Oh.
What bad writing.
I was still focused on the, like, how he gets into barrel racing, so you just like whipped me into left field, and I was like, I don't know where we're at now.
He's a cute boy and thinks I can impress cute boy by barrel racing. And that's why he then decides to try to tame this Shetland pony to barrel race.
Okay.
I don't know if this is anything. It doesn't have to be anything.
I mean, it can be. I don't know. I just was like,
I want to throw some extra seasoning in the pot that's not necessary is what I'm trying to do here. Because we've got talking squirrels.
We
for
do.
some reason.
Yes.
So
I guess I was just like, not that that's a bad idea. I just had in my head of like the reason that he kind of ends up like drawn to this horse or whatever is because all of the kids shun him for being different. And so there's, you know, that montage of, or maybe not even montage, but just a scene of him being like sad and mopey and feeling lonely, and he comes upon the, you know, Shetland because he wanders into the barn, because you definitely let kids wander into the barn at a camp. And the whole like, you know, the door is shut and you can't really, but there's like a couple of holes that the horse nose kind of blows through, and they have their little like bonding moment. And then I don't know how he ends up like riding this thing. I'm assuming it would be like a midnight breakout, jailbreak kind of a situation, and then he's barrel racing in the dark with the lights on in the arena, which I still, how at a summer camp, how did they let this happen?
Who knows? It's a bad movie.
So anyways, like not that it's a bad idea.
I mean, we can like
just
twist it in a little more where it's like not a deciding factor in any of these decisions, but like as it continues along, like he develops this crush, and like so that makes him want to work harder and be better, and not just like do it for the sake of doing it because his parents said not to, but now he's doing it for him, for himself. So like that could just be like again, like there's always an unnecessary something, and so just having that be like, all right, cool, yeah. Because again, these writers were on something with talking squirrels, so at least they're not homophobic.
There you go.
So just as some like other options, as with always with cult classics. First of all, never gonna get written.
True.
And second of all, it's all made up.
It's all made up.
So we're in charge of the story here.
Binder with 3 Post-it notes.
Yeah, really. So the Post-it notes are talking squirrels, English summer camp. Parents have bad accents. Yes, that are Post-it notes. Good, excellent. Is that okay? So let's re-summarize. Yeah. So Camp Cloudy.
Yes.
Is there a colon, or we just Camp Cloudy?
Was there?
Well, we talked about it, but then we never really went with anything.
Get rid of it? Oh,
yeah.
I think just Camp Cloudy.
All right, Camp Cloudy. So starts with some rich parents of thoroughbred dressage horses?
Well, it wouldn't be thoroughbreds if it were
So
doing dressage.
what would they be?
I
don't know anything about what breeds do dressage.
It would be warm blood. Dutch warm blood. Yeah, it's like they're warm bloods. So there's
that means absolutely nothing to me, and
oh no,
I don't want you to explain it.
My brain had been jogged of like some breeds to list under that category, and then they immediately fled.
Sure, like a horse does.
Like a horse does, exactly. My brain is just all horses.
Your brain is a horse, actually. It's a little horse in there.
I feel like it's a bunch of them.
It's a bunch of them, like, yelling at each other.
They, like, come, and then I try to grab one, and they just go, bing!
With a Dutch warm blood.
Dutch warm blood,
is that, like, is there a breeding program for that?
Oh, I'm sure. With all the fancy horses, there's usually some sort of breeding something.
So technical aspect aside,
yes.
they're renowned horse breeders with a mansion in Kentucky and a mansion in England, and they fly between the two all the time. And for whatever reason, the parents and their son Johnny are at their English house.
Yeah.
They've put on fake accents to impress the neighbors, but Johnny actually has a regular accent.
I feel like he has a real accent
because he grew up, I would assume, in England for whatever reason. And the parents are like, we're gonna fly off to Cancun for the summer. So what do we do with you, Johnny boy? And one of their trainers or their breeders or whoever, their
trainer,
their help essentially.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, I've been to Camp Cloudy. It's actually really nice. Mm-hmm. And they're like, okay, bye. Get off to Camp Cloudy, Johnny. Get out of here. And
they don't even take him to Camp Cloudy. It's like the butler that takes him and drops him off.
Yeah. And so he arrives, and it is not a camp for rich kids.
Nope.
And he gets there, and everyone's like, oh, Johnny Rich Pants.
Because he's wearing like some sort of like fancy suit or something.
Like a dressage.
Yeah.
What do you wear when you're in like dressage? It's like fancy pants.
Yeah, it's like a suit coat almost, but like long tail.
Yeah.
And you have like a fancy button-up shirt, and like the men actually wear top hats, like legitimately wear top hats as part of their riding outfit, and then the like riding pants, the breeches
that are like hundreds of dollars.
Yes, more than hundreds sometimes.
Yeah. So
and the fancy boots that are thousands of dollars.
I think they should call him Fancy Pants because I just think it's stupid and funny.
Yeah,
because he walks in like all ready to go, and they're like, "What?" And they're like, in regular. Now, okay, is this camp in Europe or is it in Kentucky?
I think it's in Europe just because cloudy. Like that was the inspiration.
Yeah,
was
I just wanted to verify.
Yes.
I'm curious where in Europe this would be because like I can't picture flannel in Europe at all. To me, those two do not go together.
Maybe in Germany.
There's all kinds of places it could be.
I'm thinking like I don't know, flannel. I feel like
Lederhosen.
I see Germans wearing flannel. Modern Germans, not ancient Germans.
Germans still wear lederhosen sometimes.
Well, yeah, but most cultures wear their cultural things sometimes, but not all the time.
Yeah. So he's in Germany.
Well, I was actually thinking that the camp was in England specifically, because whenever I think of English people, I think of the fact that they talk about how it rains all the time and there's never any sun.
It's in England, but there's a lot of Germans for some reason.
Yeah,
it's a very popular German camp destination.
Mm-hmm.
So he arrives, and they're all like, "Get out of here with your money and your fancy pants."
They're all in the German mafia? What is this?
I can't do a German accent, or I would try.
Yeah, no, I can't help you.
And so then he's sad.
And he's sad.
He's so sad.
He's been shunned by everybody.
And he finds the Shetland pony.
Yes.
Named Bill.
I was gonna say Sparkles.
Oh no! I love that. Sparkles.
Not really what I wanted, but okay.
Bill Sparkles.
Bill Sparkles. Awful.
Good.
I hate it.
That's why he's getting sent off to the textile factory. It's just a very bad name.
You just have a terrible name, and that's
Get out of here.
No, he's got a bad attitude because he has a bad name. We should rename him at some point,
Okay.
and that makes him have a better attitude. Bill Sparkles, that's a terrible name. I'm gonna name you Thunder.
Oh,
and then the horse is like, yeah, I love that name.
That's so cute. I like that.
I don't think horses have name preferences. I don't think their brains really comprehend in that way, but we can play it up for the movie.
Yes, we can tell the horse to do a cute little
nicker.
Yeah, I was gonna say like shimmy, but I don't think horses shimmy. Do a little shimmy.
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 Horse dancing.
Horse dancing.
That's a whole nother thing. That's dressage, basically.
Yeah, back to dressage. Okay, we've lost the plot. We need to go back to the beginning. Okay, rich parents.
Yes.
Send their kid away to summer camp.
All the kids shun him.
All the kids shun him, and he finds this pony named Bill Sparkles.
And renames it Thunder.
Well, hang on. Right away?
Yeah.
Okay, right away. Renames him Thunder.
Thunder's got a better attitude now.
Thunder's got a better attitude now. And Johnny is like, I'm gonna try this thing called barrel racing that they're telling me about. He does it in the dead of night.
Yes.
With a lighting source that doesn't affect anybody at the camp. For whatever that means. Nobody notices.
Everybody's a deep sleeper.
Everyone's really asleep. Does this for a couple times, and then
except for the squirrels.
Except for the squirrels.
That's where the talking squirrels can come in. They can sit on the side and like comment about Johnny's form of his barrel racing, and Johnny doesn't hear them, but we just cut to them every so often, being like, "Cut that barrel too close there. That's why it fell over."
like bad sports commentators.
Yes.
Okay, so we got talking squirrels in here, and then as this progresses, Johnny develops a crush. And that makes him work harder and better. And then there's at the end of the summer, the big competition. And for some reason, his parents are supportive enough to come and watch, but also really judgmental.
Yes.
They're really judging the barrel racing and the Western and the fact that it's not a Dutch warm blood and all that stuff. And then he wins. He wins and he gets a big prize and gets a big ribbon and goes... Booyah.
Booyah.
That's the end of the movie. We end on booyah.
End on booyah. It's a good end.
Is that good?
Yeah.
Okay.
I love it.
All right.
Can we name the squirrels?
Well, if they're like sports commentators.
Marvin
and Melvin.
Yes. Yes. I love it.
Okay.
And so I was thinking also like with the I think Johnny realizes that he likes barrel racing because during the day when they're doing like the regular summer camp activities, they don't really give him like a choice of what he gets to participate in, because that's a lot of summer camps. It's like you participate because you're here.
Yeah.
And that's the end of it.
Your parents paid for it.
You're right.
Stay and do what we tell you.
You don't get to sit on the sidelines, like you got to do the stuff.
Yeah.
And so he's obviously not riding Thunder during the day, riding some other kind of generic camp horse that he's kind of like, whatever. And Sleepy Horse that loves barrel racing. So it's really slow for everything else. But when they do the barrel racing, then he gets faster.
Yeah.
And so he realizes, wow, this is really fun. And so that's why he kind of does it at nighttime with Thunder.
Okay. Yeah. And like the goal, I think, of Thunder is to be like, I'm going to keep you from the factory.
Yes.
And so if we get really good at barrel racing and like I'm already kind of good on Sleepy Horse. So like this, you just need some more practice, basically.
Yeah.
I think that's
and I feel like there's like a big reveal scene where, because apparently this summer camp lets the kids get their own horses out of the barn.
Sure.
And so all the other kids are like out in the arena, and Johnny comes out and he's leading Thunder. And they're like, why do you have Bill Sparkles? He's going to eat you.
Yeah.
You're not supposed to be touching that horse. And he just like hops on and just goes.
Yeah.
And they're all like, oh my gosh, he's a good horse.
Yeah. Not to the factory.
Not to the factory. Johnny, do you want to buy this horse and just keep him? Because he obviously loves you, but I don't think he's going to work well for any of the other campers.
They're just like, yeah, of course, I've got money.
Yeah, right? Here's
a lot of cash. Take my golden card. I don't know if it's a fancy credit card.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Did we do it?
I think so.
Okay. That is a cult classic.
Camp Cloudy.
Camp Cloudy. All right, we both said this line. Who's saying something?
Oh, sorry. I got distracted. I was just thinking about, I know we don't normally cast people, but I just didn't know if you had any actor thoughts in your head.
Tom Holland.
That was literally the first person who came to my head, too. He's too old.
He's too old and he's too well-known.
Yeah.
Like, it would need to be...
He could be a camp counselor.
Ooh, that could be fun.
That would be really fun.
Yeah. But also, he wouldn't do our indie movie.
Well,
we don't have any money for Tom Holland.
Listen, we've pulled, like, Morgan Freeman before, so
I think Morgan Freeman would do an indie movie. I don't know if Tom Holland would do an indie movie.
I don't know if we made it good enough.
Yeah, maybe.
He seems very, impulsive.
He can play one of the squirrels.
He can voice Marvin. Yes.
No, I don't have anybody off the top of my head because
Okay.
I haven't watched, like, non-American media in a while, so I don't
That's
really
fair.
know who's, like, a popular younger
Mhm.
actor.
Oh.
The only other thing I have in my head is Mark Ruffalo and Reese Witherspoon.
I love Mark Ruffalo. Oh, I wanted to say this earlier. This is really random, but the fact that he's in rom-coms is kind of odd to me because he does, like, he's great and very sweet, but he just, I don't know, he doesn't seem to have, like, the typical, like,
See, that's what I
romantic
like
lead.
about him.
No, and that's great, but I just, every time because I knew he was in 13 Going on 30 because I've watched that.
Yeah.
But the fact that he was in another romantic comedy, I was like,
He
really?
had a rom-com, like, section of his career,
Huh.
for sure.
I did not know
He
that.
was definitely a rom-com leading man for a while. And I think that it worked really well because it's, at the time, it was his typecast for whatever reason. But, like, if you look back on it now, it's atypical for his typecast now.
Yeah.
But I think it worked because he's kind of an everyman. Like, you can definitely project yourself on him because he's just, like, a dude.
Mm-hmm.
He's just an average guy that you would find in an average city. Like, there are certain things that are a little odd, but, like, he's charming.
Yeah.
And he's normal.
Right.
And not, and at the time, obviously, this was not the typical way of casting, but he's not, like, ripped to shreds and, like, cheekbones cut to the heavens.
Yeah.
Like, he's just a guy.
Right.
Which I think is why I really liked it. But, I mean, he could be a rich dad.
He could be.
I feel like he's a little too old for what we're doing.
Yeah,
but we're
I
doing,
think
like,
so.
slightly younger.
Yeah.
But, like, if you have Mark Ruffalo vibes,
Uh-huh.
that's my, like, reference.
There we go.
For casting.
Okay.
Is we can find a Mark
That's
Ruffalo
our-
vibe, but just a little younger.
At casting director.
Yeah, whoever
Mark Ruffalo vibes.
slightly younger.
Slightly younger.
Okay.
Write that in the casting call.
The vibes of Mark Ruffalo.
Gotta have the vibes, man.
And then if he auditions, I would be like, sorry, not right.
No, wrong.
Wrong. Okay.
I'm sorry I tangented.
This is a very chaotic episode, but that's okay.
I'll bring it back.
Okay.
We are part of the Pocket Podcast Network, which has some other great shows. If you want to hear an actual British person, listen to Pokemakers with JD, and Alex is not British, but JD is.
Alex is British adjacent.
British adjacent, yes.
I would highly recommend. Big
yes,
fan.
definitely a fan of that show. There's other shows too, but I never remember which ones are current and which ones are.
Well, and we record this before, like, you know, months before we post it.
Right.
And so, like, we know Pokemakers is still going strong.
Yes, we do.
They're doing great. We're doing great.
Yep.
Go listen to them.
Yep.
You can find us on Twitter and Facebook at Cult Classics PPN.
We want to thank Community Access Media for the use of their facilities and equipment.
Thanks to Jason's Shaw of Audionautics for the use of our intro and outro music.
And that's a wrap.
Straight from the horse's mouth.
Disclaimer. The conceptual treatment of a motion picture created during the duration of this audio program is not intended to represent a presently published fictional narrative. The story, all names, characters, and incidents portrayed in this production are fictitious. No identification with actual persons, living or deceased, places, buildings, and products is intended or should be inferred. Original concepts devised during the extent of the audio program are creative property of Cult Classics. Any usage of current or previous Cult Classic concepts outside of the aforementioned audio program must include appropriate acknowledgments by the utilizing party.
Pocket Podcast Network. Quality programming right to your pocket.